understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
What do you desire that you can't have?
When I eat a brain, I get visions.
Don't ever come back to Gotham.
You have failed this city. Jesus, what kind of a preacher are you?
There's about a dozen ways that I could stop you right now. But I don't think I have to.
Because where I'm from, your grandson becomes the greatest hero in the universe.
Now you should at least give a brother a moment to say something heroically clever.
In the future, my friends may not be heroes, but if we succeed, they will be remembered as legends.
Welcome to the DC TV report for the week ending Saturday, April 13th, 2019. I'm Edward O'Hare, nickname to be determined.
And I'm Sara Netzley, academic by day, freelance writer by night.
We're here to bring you recaps, news, and commentary for all live-action television shows based on DC Comics.
And we have 2 episodes this week.
Yes, 2 episodes. 1, 2, just a 1-2 punch.
Wait, I'm Sara Netzley, and I'm still trying to get over your White Thunder introduction to Shazam last week. Welcome to that was good stuff. I wasn't prepared for it. It was amazing.
Oh, thank you. I guess.
You had warned me you were going to come in with different energy, but I didn't know how different it was going to be.
Yes, yeah, and that spoiler special is available. Please check that out. Our Shazam special. I love that movie. That movie was a lot of fun.
How many times have you seen it now?
3.
I would have guessed 3. That would have been my guess. Just because you hadn't seen it when we recorded on Saturday, and that eats into the weekend. So had we recorded earlier, I think you probably could have gotten a 4th one in. I believe in you.
Yeah,
so when you go back for multiple viewings, do you go to different theaters to get a different experience, or do you have a theater?
It's sometimes, like the last time I saw it on Wednesday after work, I couldn't help myself. Was it Wednesday or Thursday? But anyway, I saw it in IMAX.
Ooh.
And yeah, it was fun. And I am glad we did get some response from at RoyMax75 tweeted, Sarah, he's a friend of yours, right? Or yeah. So he tweeted listening to our to your Shazam show now. I took my 5-year-old and she had her share of jump scares. She took them like a champ, with whispers reminders that they were made on a computer, and had no nightmares. Thumbs up.
Yeah, I thought that was the daughter daddy Shazam time was really sweet.
Yes, that was cool. And you asked if she enjoyed it, and he responded, "It's hard to say. I think she did, but she also knows that going to the movies is my favorite, and she's a daddy's girl. It was 2 hours of snuggles that I don't regret. We saw the sneak preview 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I didn't get a heads up about the spirits." Okay. So yeah, I think it's the kind of thing you know your kids better than anybody else. And sometimes scary scenes like that, it could be okay. The kids are a lot more resilient than you think.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, if you haven't seen Shazam yet, this is a good weekend. Well, I guess you're going to be listening to this on Sunday, but go on Monday. Treat yourself.
Yeah.
And then listen to us talk about it.
Yeah, or go
Again,
on Sunday.
I cannot state enough. Ed has a very lovely delivery into that.
Yes.
Intro, so.
Yeah. And I mean, the rest of the week, it's just been I don't know. I mean, we had the 2 DC episodes. I've been trying to keep busy. And also, we're prepping for there's an Avengers movie coming out soon. Everyone's excited that Game of Thrones is coming back, even though I don't watch that.
The new Star Wars trailer. Oh yeah, no, I'm ignoring that you don't watch Game of Thrones. It's better for both of us.
Yeah, Star Wars trailer dropped. We're not going to talk about that.
Are we? Who how is Skywalker rising? Who is Skywalker? What is Skywalker? What are your theories? Hit us at DCTV Report.
Yes, I hope it's a cocktail.
Hit us with your best cocktail recipe suggestions for Skywalker.
Yes, and I know this isn't really relevant to these shows, to our show, but Sarah, have you checked out a series that premiered on CBS this week called The Code?
I have not. I heard some feedback that was not positive, and that feedback was from you.
Oh, well, Sarah, it's it's from the producers of NCIS and JAG, which I know is which was a favorite of mine growing up because my father was an Army JAG. So I know a little bit about the subject, and I watched this episode with my father, and boy, it was brutal. I thought the courtroom scenes in Arrow and Flash last season stretched the term, but oh boy. Sarah.
So, loose with the legalities?
Yes. Yeah. Also, uniforms were all wrong and everything else, but it's the kind of thing where like there's the big. Let me put it this way, Sarah. I think you'll understand this as soon as I say it. The big climax of the episode happened when the prosecutor called the defendant to the stand.
Huh.
Which is not allowed in any courtroom ever. That's like the number one rule is the defendant can decide to go to the stand, but the prosecutor can't just call them up.
Right, because you have the right to what do you call it? What do you call it? Remain silent?
Yes, exactly.
Like you have the right to not self-incriminate. So.
Huh.
I just don't understand shows like that. I mean, how much money do you dump into? You're right. This is so outside the scope of our podcast, but whatever.
Yeah.
How you dump in so much money in casting and costuming and like behind the scenes, the people who are getting you coffee and are like adjusting the boom mics, and you don't bring on a lawyer to say, actually, hold up a second.
Yeah. It was weird. Like I wanted to like that show, and it was just, I don't get it.
I mean, now I have to hate watch it, and I have to find it on Hulu. Thanks a lot. The terrible, wonderful, horrible show I'm watching, of course, is Whiskey Cavalier. It's so bad, and it's so wonderful, and I love it so much every week. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was on after the Super Bowl, right?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Dueling spies who might want to kiss each other. It's very much in my sweet spot. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, cool. So, yeah. So that's what's going on with us this week. That's the bad TV that I watched. You ready to talk about some good TV, Sarah?
Absolutely. And it was good this week.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to dive into the episodes. The first one up is DC's Legends of Tomorrow, Season 4, Episode 10, The Getaway. The Legends travel to Orlando, 1973, to prevent Richard Nixon from admitting he was a crook. Mona found it difficult to explain to Sara that she had been scratched by a copy. Nate bonded with his father while also throwing him off the Legends trail. Tasked by Zari, Gary went to Nora Dark for help hacking Hank Haywood's data. Last minute reveal, Nate found Nora standing over Hank's soulless body before she magicked her escape from the Time Bureau.
Okay, if you had told me that one of our 2 episodes this week featured every cast member swallowing an Egyptian truth cockroach, and that was still not the weirdest episode we'd be talking about, I'd have called you a liar.
Oh, it's true. I mean, of all the 2 episodes to have Legends and Doom Patrol, that's a wacky double feature.
It was honestly that if we just had these two shows moving forward forever, I'd be cool with that. Just Legends and Doom. Yeah.
But yeah. So the bad guy that they were tracking was an Egyptian truth roach, who kept crawling inside of people and making them tell the truth.
It was upsetting. At one point, he crawled inside Sarah's nose. Mostly, it was mouth stuff. It was all bad.
Yeah. But we did see some team dynamics. We did see a reference to the classic Shazam 70s show where they all got in a Winnebago.
No, I did not get that reference to Shazam.
Yeah, I think we've gone over this. The Saturday morning Shazam. It was Billy Batson and Mentor. That's all he was ever called.
Yes.
Just wandering.
I was not aware there was an RV involved.
Yeah, just wandering. Yeah, it was them wandering around the country in a Winnebago. That somehow never left Southern California. Don't know how that worked. But yeah. So we we had some fun team bonding. This reminded me of some family road trips. Oh man. I was right there with Ray. Wanted to sing some songs.
You know what? You could have just said I was right there with Ray and stopped, because that's typically the Ed O'Hare mode. The 70s cop highway stuff is not really my preferred genre.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get super enjoyment out of this episode as much as I have with others, just because I've never, like, a Smokey and the Bandit is not my thing, really. But the Truth Roach was fun, and it was fun to have them all stuck in a Winnebago where they had to tell the truth. I really did like, everybody truth telling it, like Constantine, for Ray and Constantine. Get real.
Yeah.
And honestly, had I swallowed that roach, I would have told Ray, you need to cut your hair, son. You need to just trim it up, man.
Yeah. Get a haircut, you hippie. And we had Richard Nixon in this episode. And
a good jowly Richard Nixon.
I thought the Richard Nixon in this episode was much better than the Lyndon Johnson from last season. Yeah. And I also love that the timeline staying together depends on Nixon lying through his teeth. Like, that's I found the irony of that very amusing. Now let's get into the heartfelt stuff here, Mona. Yeah, so what did you think? Do you think that it was on Sara to listen to her, or was it on Mona more to just spit it out?
Oh, sorry, it was on Mona.
Yeah,
you gotta speak up there, girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because it's not like it's the Time Bureau. It's not like they're gonna fire her. If anything, that's going to have Sarah's protective instincts kick in. All they need to do is know that she needs help, and they would have been there for her. And
I mean, she really all whimsical, high-spirited Legends hijinks aside, that really is endangering the team to be on an RV as a shifter with unknown powers. I don't know. I like Mona, but that was not a great step for the character. It just took her too long.
Yeah.
And honestly, when you said heartfelt stuff, I thought you were going to talk about Nate and his dad.
Oh, yes. So we had some father-son bonding here.
It was nice.
Yeah. I would understand, Sarah, if you wouldn't be able to relate to that. But but yeah. I thought that was cool, and it was funny. Like, we talked last week about how the writers, couldn't bear to make Thomas F. Wilson a bad guy once they got to know him. And I think that really applied here, which is, why it was such a tragic ending.
He's not really dead, right?
Well, I mean, that's why I said in the recap, his soulless body, because I'm pretty sure that's what Neron did, is he just took his soul and left an empty shell.
Yeah.
So I don't think Hank's dead.
He He could be, but that would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and now Nora's going to take the blame. And Nora, and this is another, I think this was a reckless decision on Gary. And I'm not even sure how he thought Nora was going to help him.
Yeah, I think they needed to bring Nora back into the storyline, and that's how they did it. So if the excuse was kind of weak, I don't know. In the end, we saw that woman magic her way out of what I assume is one of the best containment cells in the world.
Yeah,
and she just powered through it, and she's so awesome. I am super team Nora Dark. I know she was evil. I know she was possessed. She had a bad dad. She was awesome.
Yeah. But but yeah, but also, the scenes with I love how it's one thing for when they came up to those state troopers, it's one thing for Hank to just like commandeer them, or even take their car, but to also take their uniforms.
Yeah.
Like, we have to dress up with the badge and the hat and everything else. Like, he's enjoying time travel way too much.
I thought there was something really sweet also about Nate asking his dad to go for ice cream. Even though it was a distraction, it was still like, aw, you want to go for ice cream with your dad. Aw. Also, the Nate Zari thing continues. I believe Bauerfett last week mentioned that, and I was like, maybe. Okay, no, I see it. I see it now. So,
Yeah. It's also because, like, to have him still hanging around for Amaya or Charlie now, I think that's just gonna get sad. That's gonna seem a little pathetic. So I think they're trying to drive him in a little bit of a different direction. And Zari's just kind of been everybody's friend lately. So
yeah. I mean, I think she's always been. I feel like she's always been, once she settled into the team, she's always just kind of been a good buddy.
Yeah. And, in this show, they always want to have some type of romance happening on the ship. So, I guess they're going in that direction.
And I do have to call out, I forget what the context was, but at one point Sara says, I'd say no pun intended, but that would be a lie. And I like a woman who embraces puns. I don't remember what the pun was. It doesn't matter. I was like, yeah, more puns. More puns, 2K19.
Yes. All right. Cool. Was there anything more about this episode that we...
No, I'm so glad the show is back.
Yeah, show's back. All right. And there was no news for Legends, right?
Correct.
All right. On to our second show for this week, Doom Patrol. Season 1, Episode 9, Jane Patrol. Despite objections from her other personalities, Jane wandered the underground, refusing to go up to the real world. The Negative Man created a mental link that allowed Cliff to enter the underground to look for Jane. Last minute reveal, after a long day, Jane went to her room, lied down, and heard her father's voice again.
Yeah, so this is the one that was weirder than the Truth Cockroach.
Yes.
Over on Legends. For sure.
Yeah.
This was great. This was an unexpected way to introduce all of those personalities in the flesh, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I didn't expect it. It was great.
Yeah. I was impressed. I thought it's weird, like when they call it an underground, that it was literally like a train tracks. That it's all in her head, but it's to see a literal representation of it. I also liked the fact that some of the personalities were played by Diane Guerrero and others weren't. Like, it made sense that Hammerhead and Penny Farthing are unique enough personalities that they're played by different actors. I thought that was an interesting direction.
But somebody like the conductor who doesn't have, who's more utilitarian, I guess, would look like her. Yeah, I agree. It was a nice way to mix things up, or save on the casting budget, whatever.
Yeah, and I think this was a really interesting look into what causes human trauma and the after effects of it. And what was interesting to, like, as she goes deeper and deeper into the well, into the darkness, and you see the moment where where Kay, who's the actual person there, created the personality of Jane. And the reason, it was a defense mechanism. So, to protect herself from her father, which she couldn't do physically, but that's just the way her brain worked to try to protect the personality of Kay, who is lost somewhere in that well.
I was going to say, so if there was going to be a happy ending for Jane, is it Jane not existing anymore and Kay taking over? That's obviously not what the show is going to do, because that ends the fun of Jane. But I wonder if Kay is in there somewhere, and is that a storyline you see in season 12 or whatever that we'll never get, but if we did, the hunt for Kay. But I will say, what did you think about Puzzle Piece Dad there at the end?
Oh,
I couldn't decide if that was menacing or ridiculous.
Well,
both? Can it
yeah,
be both?
yeah, and I think that's kind of the conceit here, is that it's all happening in her head. So it's all an emotional manifestation. So that I think it gives you a little bit more leeway for the ridiculous. Because you're not bound by normal rules of physics. So for that's how emotionally she sees her father, as this towering monster made of the puzzle pieces she used to use to distract her. And the way that she has to defeat him is just by having the courage to stand up to him. And to me, the emotional impact of that moment made up for anything in there that seemed ridiculous or outlandish.
Yeah, I guess I came down in the same place. I struggled with the visuals a little bit of it, just the kind of cheesy effects of it, but that moment was so powerful, and I was so thrilled when she finally said, I'm not scared of you. You can't get back in your well. This isn't gonna work. And then to have her, you think she's come so far, and then you hear that voice again at the very end of the episode. It's, trauma's not something you fix in one go. So that was good. That was a good story.
Yeah, and I think that's also a comment here that when you're going through post-traumatic stress, or when you're having the courage to live, it's not just about doing it once. It's about having to keep up that courage throughout the rest of your life. And it's the kind of thing where she finally got the strength to stand up to her father, but in her head, the memory of her dad is always going to be there. And it's about her keeping up that strength and being able to maintain it. And like, I love what's going on with this character, and it's a really cool metaphor. That I thought, and also, Cliff went on a little journey here too. Where
if they want to give me Brandon Fraser punching through a cement block wall every week, that's fine.
Yeah. So like, when he shows up in the underground, he looks like his old self. He's a human, and that scene he has with Black Annis, that weird creepy nun with the Freddy.
Terrifying Edward Scissorhands. Continue.
Yes. Yeah. With the Freddy Krueger hands. He has to admit to himself that he's a robot, that this is who he is right now. And I thought it was, it's obviously on a much smaller scale than Jane. But even he had to confront himself, and he had to be honest with himself in that moment. Is like, this is my reality, and this is how I'm going to have to go forward. And I'm not going to be able to grow emotionally until I accept that. Yeah, yeah. Do we know any psychologists that we could get a perspective on
like
this
as
episode?
A guest. Let me think on that. I'm sure I can find somebody. I liked the female sensibility of this, that all the people that we've seen are women who are protecting her in one way or another. Even Black Annis, as terrifying as she is, I made the point, no men. No men. And you get it, you understand, and I liked the way they all seem to kind of come together in their own way to try to protect her from that. So I thought that was really kind of powerful and an interesting way to look at, I don't know, sisterhood, how you can have people band together and kind of take care of each other. I thought that was kind of cool in a way that left poor Karen bloody and locked up in a cell. But, it's what you got to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And also how sometimes those support structures are helpful, but sometimes, they can be restrictive, whereas like, when Penny Farthing talks about the reason that they don't like Cliff is because he's giving Jane hope. That he's encouraging, and it's the kind of thing where they're there to protect her, so they're scared for her to go out on a limb or to try really hard because they're afraid that of the pain of rejection.
Yeah. But I thought the visuals were cool. I thought the storytelling was good. So Jason does not like a dream sequence. So when this episode got done, I looked over at him and was like, "Hey, what'd you think about this? It wasn't a dream sequence, but it was enough like it." And he was quiet for a second and said, "This is the best show on TV right now." So that's high praise from my just give me linear action in the real world husband.
All right. All right. Cool. So yeah. Legends was fun, but Doom Patrol got deep.
Yeah. Yes, where Doom Patrol can be really fun, this was not fun necessarily, but I enjoyed it. It kind of deepened the mystery, but explained things. But I don't know. It even made me kind of not hate Penny Farthing. Penny Farthing was my least favorite persona up to that point. But in person, Penny Farthing's just a lady with shiny bangs who wants to be helpful.
Yeah. All right. Anything? Is there any news for Doom Patrol?
Nope. Just we have 5 more episodes?
Yeah. 5, 6. This was 9. I think we're getting 15.
Unless DC Universe decides to play with that, which they do sometimes.
Yeah, they might. But
hopefully not. So,
yeah.
I'll take 6 more.
Of course. All right. Cool. So now I think it's time for news for other shows.
Okay, so we've got some Arrow news to start.
Okay.
Season 7 has wrapped production, and specifically, Emily Bett Rickards filmed her final episode as Felicity, which is sad. Stephen Amell tweeted, "There are days when actors shed a noble tear in a scene, and there are days when they ugly cry to the point of fogging up their scene partners' glasses. Today was the latter." So, again, we just want to reiterate our hopes that she'll come back for the season 8 finale. So, please.
Yeah.
Let that happen.
I saw a video online of her and the actor who plays Renee crying together. That was hard.
Yeah, it looked really emotional. It looked like it was, it would be really hard to say goodbye. So anyway, that has happened, and it was a big day on the set, apparently. Also about season 7 and the finale, Canada Graphs, which is a Twitter account that does photos of Canadian set productions and then sells them. Not my favorite Twitter account. He's really anti-Olicity, and I don't like the way he expresses it. Whatever. He got a shot of some kind of set material that has the title episode for the season 7 finale. And you want to talk about ugly cry, Ed? Are you ready for the season 7 finale episode?
Lay it on me.
You have saved this city.
Ooh.
Can you just? So now that is a set leak photo, so that has not been confirmed. It's not, official from the CW or from the crew or anything like that. But Canada Graphs usually seems to have pretty good access to the different sets. So yeah, look for the season 7 finale to maybe make us all, as Stephen Amell said, ugly cry. Yay. And last little bit of Arrow news is in episode 20, we're going to see Roy in the present, suiting up as Arsenal to help out Team Oliver. So good news for Colton Haynes. He won't have to put on that dire old age makeup. Congratulations, Colton Haynes.
Yay!
Yeah, and maybe we'll get an update on Thea.
Maybe. Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Yay.
Let's see. Other news. The Flash. It looks like we're going to have a villain team up on April 30th with Weather Witch and Emily Kinney's character, the Bug-Eyed Bandit. Ed, you said that she is from an early season episode?
Yeah, she had to be like first or second season. I think that's the first episode where we found out about Mercury Labs and the actress who starred in the 90s Flash TV show. But yeah. So she, Bug-Eyed Bandit was a scientist who was obsessed with bees and went crazy and had all of these little bee robots that she used to attack people.
Sure. I mean, that tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So I buried the lead there, though. Yeah, Emily Kenny's coming back, Bug-Eyed Bandit, Weather Witch, and they will be joined by a third villain, and I'm not ready for this. Ragdoll. Ragdoll is back. Fire up your nightmares.
I am loving those rogues. Oh man, a villain team up. We haven't had like a real villain team up on the Flash in a while.
Yeah, I agree. That would be kind of fun. I feel like we've seen these metas who are like haunted and wanting to get rid of their powers and things. That's not a team up. Mm-hmm. That's just rolling over and taking it. So
yeah. Because like that's the one thing on the Flash that they never really. I mean, they did a little bit, but like a little bit in the second season when you had like Heat Wave and Captain Cold and what was his sister? The one who shot Gold.
Let's just call her Goldfinger.
Yeah. But like there are a lot of storylines in the comics where you'll have like Captain Cold and the Pied Piper and Mirror Master and Captain Boomerang and all of those guys. Where like the Flash will be facing 6 of them at once. And if this is going to go a little bit in that direction, then we're going to get like we're going to get a bunch of rogues in there. And more Ragdoll. I'm up for that.
Yeah. Speaking of horrifying, did you read the comic book? I don't read the Flash comic currently, but did you read what happened to the Flash in comics recently?
No. I mean, I know there's a Heroes in Crisis is like the big storyline that's been going on now. I have not dived into it now.
Well, his speed was taken away in the most brutal way possible. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's a comic reader, but speaking of nightmare fuel. Anyway. All right. That's it for the Flash.
Okay.
Moving on, moving on to Gotham. We have an extended trailer for the penultimate episode. I don't quite understand why they gave us 3 minutes of all the plot twists and turns of an episode that's the second to last episode of the show ever. It doesn't need to lure anybody to watch it. We're gonna watch it. If we're not watching it already, we're not gonna bother. So why release a trailer that kind of gives away everything in the episode? I don't understand.
I don't know what to tell you. Sorry.
Yeah, well, Ed, you said you didn't even get all the way through it, but you kind of clicked and then clicked away.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'd rather experience it, and we will next week.
I watched the whole thing because I'm a dummy, but you're right. There was no, I mean, great. Yeah, I'm excited for it, but I felt like they didn't need to give me quite that much of the plot. Anyway, And then we also have another look at the Joker. Cameron Monaghan posted a photo of himself in the makeup. We get a little bit more detail about the Joker's skin. It's bad. He could use some exfoliating, a lot of exfoliating, like with a sandblaster. It's bad. It's gross. The Joker looks bad.
Okay.
In a good way, like in the best way. So that's your Gotham news.
Okay.
Okay. So kind of sticking with the CW shows that aren't quite in season yet, or shows that aren't quite ordered yet.
Batwoman music.
CW President Mark Pedowitz gave an interview recently saying that Batwoman is going to help extend the franchise and the Arrowverse. Weirdly, this was not part of an announcement that they're making Batwoman a full series. So we still don't have that full pickup yet, but everybody seems really excited about it to the extent that I don't know why they're not just announcing it, you know?
Yeah. I guess they want to wait till the upfronts, which is usually in May. But yeah, I remember like around Christmas time or like January, maybe it was at TCA's. He said the same thing where he's just like, Batwoman is really exciting. You know, we're going to be taking the Arrowverse stuff in a different direction.
And he talked about like we're going to have 6 shows or something like that. He was counting Batwoman in the list of shows. It's just, I mean, just tell us, dude. I feel like he's so excited he can't ask me about my new toy. You can't. You have. It's so awesome. I can't tell you about it, but it's so great. You're gonna love it. Yeah, just tell us.
Yeah,
just tell us.
Come on.
Yeah. So, moving on to a CW show that's premiering very soon, iZombie. We have the name of the premiere episode of iZombie, and that is Thug Death, in which Liv has to solve a murder that has no body or brain for her to eat. So, so take old-fashioned police work.
Yeah, let's see how good of a detective you really are. All right.
No brain to eat. So. Let's see. Okay, so we have some big news. Let's talk about Lucifer, Ed.
Lucifer?
Yeah, we have a premiere date, and it's May 8th. Lucifer's coming May 8th. Yeah! All 10 episodes. Netflix. Check it out.
Oh my God. May 8th. May 8th. What are we going to do, Sarah? We have 6 other shows, and then we're going to have 10 episodes of Lucifer to watch. I'm going out of my mind. Oh, man.
I mean, we can do 16 hours of TV. We can just do one really big podcast. Everybody brace yourself for the first 5-hour DC TV report. Yeah. So we're working on that. I think we'll probably have one episode that's the other 6 shows, and then one episode that's just Lucifer. And we may end up binging it all in one weekend. And just audience, we're doing this for you. We will give you our Venmo account so you can send us our, money for Starbucks. Use the Cash App if you'd like.
Yes.
So we can power through for you.
Yes. None of which sponsor this podcast, but we'll take it.
No, God no.
You want to use
But it could sponsor our coffee.
Yeah. You want to go old school, go like 2007, use PayPal. DC, honestly, the DC TV at wickedtheory.com.
You know what? The last several online payments I've made have been PayPal. I don't understand. Am I sending money to the past? Every time anybody says, yeah, my PayPal is, I'm like, do you not know about all the apps that we know? Okay.
No, that's a
Cash App. We're not using our apps anymore. I don't understand.
That's a joke I have with a buddy. Who was like, "Hey man, could you send me just like a Chase payment?" I'm like, I don't have Chase. Can you use Venmo? How about PayPal? I was like, oh, that's right, Ed. Because I say 2019, and then you say no, 2005. So yeah, PayPal's still alive and well. It works. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I can confirm. I've just sent money through there, so you know.
And Lucifer's coming back.
We're talking about Lucifer.
Yeah. So there.
Do you want to say something about the trailer?
Well, I'm just saying they had this teaser, and it's just him getting out of a pool, and I was a little, I was expecting to find out a little bit more about what's going to happen this season, and I don't know, I don't know what all the excitement was about.
And it was perfect. Shut your blaspheming mouth. That was the world's most perfect teaser trailer. Tom Ellis gets out of a pool. He's very wet. There's a tattoo. It's great. What more do you want? Tom Ellis has been working very hard for us in the off season, and he just wants us to see it. And we thank him for it.
All right.
Okay, so that's Lucifer. Very exciting. Stay tuned for information about how we're going to handle all those episodes. Next show, Preacher. So, some mixed news on Preacher. We have a premiere date for season 4. It's going to premiere August 4th. And we also have the news that it's ending with season 4. Seth Rogen made a point of saying, not that it's canceled, they've decided to end it with season 4. So we're going to get the ending, I guess, the way the showrunners would like it to end. It's not going to be a surprise. They're going to have time to plan for it, which I always appreciate. On the other hand, they had so much more ground to cover in the comic book. And I know it hasn't been totally comic accurate, but oh man, they had I'd say at least 3 more seasons worth of stuff that they could have done. So I don't know. Are they going to try to do the comic ending? Are they going to just zip, fast forward through a bunch of stuff? So I don't know. You say things now.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little disappointing. I was talking with our executive producer, Bill Sweeney, the other day, and he's been a little iffy on whether or not one of the shows he hosts, Preacher vs. Preacher, is going to come back. But the fact that there's only 1 season left, I think he's leaning towards that. So Preacher vs. Preacher fans, look out. But he did express disappointment that he doesn't think that they can resolve all of this in 10 episodes, or at least cover all the fun stuff from the comic that we wanted to see. And especially which is a little disappointing considering that the first season was really just a prequel to everything else that happened.
Yeah, when I think about the tire spinning that the show did early on, I liked season 1, actually. I didn't like it as a comic adaptation. So we only really got, I guess, 3 seasons of comic material, and even that has been sort of lightly inspired by until recently. I don't know. Maybe this will be what they need, and they'll just burn through story at an insane rate. Could be. But yeah, August 4th, we'll find out.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
All right. Last little bit of news. I ordered this wrong. This is a little anticlimactic after all the premieres. But Titans has cast a very important character for its 2nd season. And Ian Glenn is going to play Bruce Wayne in Titans.
So we're going to get to meet Batman. Wow.
Yeah. Ed, do you have thoughts about Ian Glenn?
I think he's a fine actor. He's British, correct? Yeah.
Sorry, yes, he's very British.
Not exactly the first person I would think of for Bruce Wayne. But he's more than capable, and I think obviously they're going for an older Batman, which makes sense given that Dick Grayson is about to become Nightwing, so that I'm interested to see how he interacts with Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. I think that it's not an obvious choice, but I'm intrigued.
Well, I have to admit, I wasn't. When they said cast Bruce Wayne, I saw the headline Game of Thrones actor cast as Bruce Wayne, and I was like, for what show and what act? And so my brain started flipping through what show and what actor, and I would never have landed on those 2 combinations, I don't think. But Ian Glenn, of course, is Ser Jorah Mormont in Game of Thrones. I love that character. He's loyal, but he's tough. He's a fighter, and he's hopelessly in love with a woman whose friend zoned him. Poor Jorah. And also, I mean, he's going to be dead soon because everybody's going to be dead because Game of Thrones comes back Sunday, and everybody we love is going to turn into a zombie. But I'm glad he has work lined up. I can't wait to see him in a modern setting on Titans. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, Ian Glenn, welcome to the DC Universe family.
All right, and that was the last of the news, right?
That's it. We're down to the winner of the week.
All right, winners for the week. I'll go first. Mine is we didn't talk about in the episode recap, but when Nate and Hank were driving around, we're driving around in Legends. The subject of Hank's childhood pet came up, and his dog's name was Silver, who was who also happened to be the name of the Lone Ranger's horse. So my win for this week is the Lone Ranger, because it made me think back on those episodes with Clayton Moore and Jay Silverheels that I used to rent from Palmer Video when I was a kid. Sarah, are you familiar with the Lone Ranger from the 50s TV show? Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was a cool father-son bonding moment. It made me think back on my favorite classic TV superhero. I'd take Clayton Moore over Adam West, personally. But
that's a bold statement.
It is a bold
for
statement.
Somebody on a DC TV podcast.
They're not. I love them both, but you give me a choice. I mean, Lone Ranger, man, that's the guy. So yeah, hi-ho Silver, away.
Well, that's funny because my winner of the week is also somebody we didn't talk about in the episode recap, and it's also from Legends, and it also has to do with Nate driving in his car with his dad, and that is Zari the DJ. DJ Z had the best radio voice. That woman has a career as the next Delilah when Delilah retires. She has this smooth velvet voice. It was great.
It was weird because part of it was Wolfman Jack, but there's also some definitely K Billy's super sounds from the 70s in there. She's channeling Stephen Wright just a little bit. And I thought, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And I like that she really did drop all subtlety there at the end. Okay, guys, turn left before Route 28. Just turn left. So, yeah, the whole thing was a lot of fun. Zari the DJ, I just loved.
So I guess the winners for this week are sub-references on Legends.
Yeah, what are you going to
do? All right. Sarah, we finished an episode.
We sure did, Ed.
Yeah.
I'm going to wrap up and get across the street to my pinball convention. Yeah, I tried to make it all the way through. I didn't. There, I said
it. Cool. Enjoy the pinball. I think I might edit this up quick and then run out to the movies to see Shazam again.
We're all doing our thing this weekend.
Yes. And for all you loyal listeners, that's the DC TV report for this week. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Edward O'Hare TBD.
I'm at Sara Netzley, SaraNetzley.
And follow the show on Twitter at DCTV Report. Send along your emails to dctv@wickedtheory.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our show on your podcast app of choice and rate and review us. That helps more people find us. Check out our sister shows, the Wicked Theory Podcast and Preacher vs. Preacher. This has been a Wicked Theory Studios production. Executive producer, Bill Sweeney. Visit us at wickedtheory.com. Shazam, everybody.
Shazam.
Shazam!